The quiet shame we don't talk about. You told God you were done. And you meant it. With your whole heart, you meant it. You had a few good days, maybe even a good week. And then you fell again. This time felt different though, didn't it? It wasn't just guilt this time. It was something quieter, heavier. A small voice that whispered, "If you were really his, wouldn't this be gone by now?" Friend, if you're carrying that thought tonight, I want you to know something before we go any further. You are not the only one who has ever felt this way. And the very fact that you're here, watching this, searching for an answer, that already tells us something beautiful about your heart. A heart that didn't care, wouldn't still be looking. What your struggle is actually telling you. Can I share something that might bring you comfort? Something that is no longer alive, doesn't struggle. It simply drifts, wherever the current takes it. But anything that's still breathing, still has fight in it. And that fight you feel, that exhaustion of trying again and again, that isn't proof that something is wrong with you. It's quiet evidence that something in you is still alive. The fact that this still bothers you, that you still long to do better, that's not condemnation. That's the gentle nudge of God's Spirit, still close to you, still working in you. People who have truly drifted away from God don't fight their sin anymore. They've simply made peace with it. But you haven't. You're still here, still trying, still hoping, and that matters more than you know. Even Paul understood this. You might be surprised to learn. Even the Apostle Paul wrestled with this exact feeling. In Romans chapter 7, he wrote something beautifully honest. He said the good he wanted to do, he didn't always do. And the very thing he wished he wouldn't do, he sometimes still did. This wasn't a brand new believer figuring things out. This was Paul, one of the most devoted followers Jesus ever had. And he didn't write that struggle in the past tense as something he'd overcome. He wrote it in the present, because the struggle was still part of his story too. But here's the beautiful part. Paul's struggle never meant he had lost his place with God. It simply meant the old way of living was still present, but it was no longer in charge of him. The fight was real, but the outcome was never in doubt. Friend, the same is true for you. Why willpower alone isn't enough? For a long time, maybe you've been trying to simply stop. Don't think about it. Don't look. Don't go there. But our hearts don't quite work that way, do they? The more we focus on resisting something, the larger it seems to grow in our minds. Maybe your walk with God has started to feel like a long list of don'ts. And that list, as good as your intentions are, can leave you feeling so tired. Here's something gentle but true. Rules alone rarely change a heart. but love does. You won't walk away from something simply because you've decided to hate it enough. You'll walk away from it because you've fallen even more in love with Jesus. But it's hard to feel loved when you're so busy feeling ashamed. And maybe that's the quiet trap so many of us fall into. We start to believe that if we feel bad enough for long enough, God will finally trust us again. So we hide. We go quiet. We skip prayer, thinking, I'm not ready to come to Him yet. But friend, that's not humility. That's simply forgetting how big His grace already is, because His love was never waiting on our performance. It was already finished, on the cross, before we ever needed it. You don't have to add anything to a debt that has already, fully, completely been paid. There's a verse in Matthew chapter 12 that was written for exactly this moment in your life. A bruised reed He will not break, and a smouldering wick He will not snuff out. That's you, friend. A little bruised, a little dim, but still here, still burning. And Jesus doesn't walk past a flame like that. He gently cups His hands around it and protects it. What to do tonight? So what do you do tonight? If the same struggle returns, or if you've already stumbled again today, don't run from God. Run straight to Him. You don't need to feel clean enough before you pray. Bring it all to Him exactly as it is, because being close to God was never about being perfect. It's about continuing to take one small step closer, even after a fall. You are not who you used to be. You may be walking slowly, but friend, you are still walking forward. And when you stumble again, and you might, the Father isn't focused on the fall. He's watching your hand reach back up toward Him. And that's all He's ever asked of you. You are not alone tonight. Before you go tonight, I want you to know something. You are not the only one carrying this. So many people watching this right now have felt exactly what you feel. And maybe, together, we can remind each other that we are not walking this alone. If tonight you're choosing to keep going, to keep trying, to keep trusting Him, I'd love for you to simply write this in the comments. I'm still here, and I'm still trying. That's all. Just that. It's not a performance. It's simply a quiet way of saying, I haven't given up. And if this message brought you even a little peace tonight, consider subscribing. We'd love to walk this journey with you. You are not forgotten. You are not too far gone. And the same grace that has carried you this far will carry you the rest of the way too. A bruised reed He will not break, and a smouldering wick He will not snuff out. Matthew 12:20.